Welcome back to Doc Lyle Talks Comics, everybody. Let's go ahead and do initial assessment on the two books that came out this week. So let's go ahead and start with Aquaman #1. All right, so we have Aquaman #1, written by Jeremy Adams with art by John Timms. And this book has done something that no other book I've ever read has done. Made me interested in Aquaman. Arthur Curry is an interesting character. He's the king of Atlantis. He has his own kingdom that is larger than any landmass kingdom on the earth because 70% of the earth is covered by water. So he controls 70% and rules over the 70% that man has no jurisdiction over. So his adventures could very much be like Hal Jordan, and I see why Jeremy Adams has taken the approach that he has, because Arthur Curry can also have no fear. His powers do not derive from willpower, but his ability to govern, his ability to be king, demands that he have the willpower to do things that others refuse to do or are physically unable to do. So you have a similar character with Arthur as you do with Hal Jordan, except instead of moving the cosmos, Aquaman has to move heaven and earth in order to make way for Atlantis. So you get this action, this adventure. It starts out bombastically and energetically, just like the first issue of Green Lantern did. It's got that same punch that he imbued Hal Jordan with at the beginning of that book. And like I said, I've never cared for Arthur Curry. I've tried to get into the character a few times. The Peter David and Marty Egeland story way back in the day, just couldn't do it. Even with Jim Calafiore's art, it just didn't appeal to me. But here we have a king who is learning new powers along with having to still delegate and take control over his kingdom. At the same time, there's a mystery about something happening to his kingdom, happening to his queen, Mera, and he doesn't know where they went. So it's a search. And I've never really seen Aquaman in this state before, where he's on this search to try to find everybody and everything that he's ever loved. So this book, my initial assessment is that it's an A+, and I will definitely be checking out issue 2. So for Seafaring Adventures, this is not The Old Man and the Sea by Hemingway by any means, but for Seafaring Adventures, and for a king who's lost within himself, much less within his own kingdom, I would definitely say that Doc recommends this to quell your ails. Okay? All right, and the second book is The Lucky Devils by Charles Soule and Ryan Browne. This one tells the tale of these two demons who decide that they're going to cause a ruckus in hell. And they have, one demon controls this character here, another demon controls this character here, but they've come to find out throughout the years that both of their people are extremely positive, and it's hard to get their goat. It's hard to bring them down from their high, because one is a nurse. She's a female who wants to help people. She's never going to get rich by helping people, but at the same time, she still finds energy, and it brings her happiness and life and purpose in order to help other people. And then you've got this guy here who is a teacher, an adjunct professor at a college. And again, he is not after the pursuit of knowledge, but to help share his knowledge with other people. And in order to do that, he has to go through these trials and tribulations. His laptop exploded. He borrowed some money from a friend of his to take a girl out on a date, and then when he got there, the money was gone. Here we have our nurse who got frustrated because one of the other nurses got moved off of her floor and she had to go clean up a code Browne. I'll let you figure out what that is. And so she actually had some yogurt and she was going to pour yogurt in the girl's fancy new car. And she stopped herself. And the adjunct professor was going to send a nasty email to somebody about an article that he knew was written by AI, and he was just going to really put in that email his true feelings, and it was going to devastate the girl who wrote the paper. So they managed to both back off. Meanwhile, these two demons are talking to each other, and they're like, we got to start something. We got to start a revolution. We've got to build the world that we want to have, because we're attached to these two goody two-shoes, and they're never going to get us anywhere. So this has got a lot of energy. It's got a lot of fun. It takes it irreverently, but at the same time, it's not like Preacher, where it sometimes stepped on truly biblical toes. This is more tongue-in-cheek, and it's really, really fun. So this also is going to get an A, because the energy of the art and the synergy of the writing come together to create a really fantastic tale. So both of these books here both get passing grades in the initial assessment, and I can definitely recommend them both. So thanks, guys and gals, for joining me on the first initial assessment of the year. Welcome to 2025. Let's go ahead and get after it, folks. Keep growing this channel. Keep growing the books that you read. Let me know in the comments what you love and what you're going to drop this year. What's your initial assessment on these two books if you picked them up this week? Let me know what you thought. Were they worthy or not? Were they not worth your time and your effort? Or do you feel like you're definitely going to come back for a second dose of both of these books next month? All right, guys, thanks for joining me, and we will see you next time. Take care.